it's a really big decision that has a lot of weight of consequence or responsibility following it, I typically want to fast. And I believe when you fast, like I like to say this statement, maybe it's cliche, but like when you starve your flesh, you feed your spirit. So like I'm like starving the desires of my flesh to feed my spirit to hear from God more potently. And I just feel like you hear from God when you fast. Like you really do. If you ever feel like you're not hearing from God in your prayer life, go on a 2-3 day water fast. Get in the word every day and talk to God every day. And if for some reason you don't have revelation from that, shoot me an email, because I have never heard anyone say that.
Yeah. And then another good point about that is too, is like, if you can't figure out what to fast, because that can be a whole thing, right? You can say, I'm going to fast. And then you start thinking about what can I pick that won't really be that huge of a deal, right? If you don't know what to fast, go with water.
I actually
because your body needs it.
I really think true fasting is just water.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we can fast things out of our life
Sure.
and fast from TV or whatever, but if you really are trying to spiritually get closer to hear from God, I think physiologically something happens to the body. There's a reason Jesus went 40 days without water or food before he started his ministry. There's a reason that Daniel fasted for 21 days, interceding for the Israelites to return home from Babylon after 70 years. There's so many times in the Bible it talks about fasting and praying. And I don't know why that is. Maybe you're suffering and sacrificing, and God loves us so much that he sees like, this child of mine's not even putting food in their body, pleading that I hear them. So that I don't know, but I know that water fasting just creates a spiritual. Have you done water fasting for multiple days?
Yeah, I am going to make it more than 3.
Dude, and you
Then
go
we went
into
to like soup.
You go into church, it's like the word hits so much heavier. You go to pray and it's like, it's just more potent.
I don't know. I will say, I don't have that type of experience. I'm barely there. I'm wasting away. It's not always hitting me.
It's tough.
I'm not always the most spiritual person when I'm fasting. I will be honest. I'm a little cranky. I'm a little irritable. But it's what happens after the fast for me. So everyone might not feel it that way. But I do know that you are stripping away your pride. You're stripping away the things that hinder you from hearing the Lord. And you're just laying yourself down before
Absolutely.
Him. That's
And everyone's
posture.
hungry.
Yeah.
Everyone's I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Like I can't lift the same. Like all that's. But I don't know. Maybe I love that a little bit.
Well, then there's also, what some people say that the reason to fast food or water is because the enemy uses food and water. There's a lot of weight from the enemy on food and water. If you look at the Bible, what are the first 2 things in the temptation in the desert that he offered him? Before kingdoms and this and that, how about some food? He's got chills. How about some water? First 2 things the devil went at him with. Before, you can have everything, food and water.
Jesus wouldn't let anything of this world
Yeah.
tempt him. That's crazy.
Yeah. And during our first water fast, my wife and I did it after we got baptized. I was baptized at Emerge, but then when her and I got baptized together, and it was 2nd day of the water fast, and we're in the room, and all of a sudden she screams and she gets this crazy pain in her back. She was toppled over. Like, I'm thinking like appendicitis, like this is a hospital situation, right? She's down there, she's screaming and yelling, and it was kind of one of the first times I really prayed on my wife. So I was down there and I was like, Heavenly Father, this and this and this, and something hit me where I'm like, nope. And I'm like, get out of her. Get out of her. I was like, something's in her. Get out of her right now, Jesus, in Jesus' name. Get this thing out of her, whatever's in her, get her out. And she was better a couple minutes later, and she said that in her head, it just hit her when the pain hit. There was just this voice saying, you're not good enough. Not good enough. You're nobody. You're nobody. You're nobody. You're nobody. You're nobody. And then when I started praying hard, she heard another voice going, you are. You are.
Wow.
You are. I have you. And it went away. So this girl got like a mini deliverance.
Wow.
Through a fast.
That's incredible.
Right? And so that's case in point.
Yes. It breaks strongholds.
It breaks strongholds. Yes. And you never know what's going to show you and reveal to you. But you know that it's doing something, right?
Yeah. Sometimes like I don't know if you ever find yourself stagnant in life or you know, big decisions like you said, like I just think it's such a good time. Even a 24-hour, just go a day, guys. You know, like when you wake up in the morning, like literally it's so easy too. Like if you ate dinner at 7 p.m. tonight and you just didn't eat again till dinner the next day at 7 p.m., you've done a 24-hour water fast.
Yeah.
And it just creates so much clarity in your life.
It does. You know, you brought up a good point too about how that the water should be like the baseline for doing it. You're right. It's very important. There are other fasts you can do, which I think are good for you that could complement it.
Like Daniel fasts and
yeah,
stuff.
like I was listening to a show the other day, and this woman who's an artist, she did a 30-day fast on secular music. And so she was enlightened and she learned some stuff, you know. So that's a good complement fast. But like if you're gonna fast, you need to.
And I think people throw the word fast on that. To me, that's just restraint.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Good
like
point.
it's like drinking coffee. There's sometimes in my life I'm like, all right, I'm probably a little too addicted to caffeine.
Yeah.
Cut it out for 30 days.
Yeah.
It's the way you make sure something doesn't have a grip on your life.
Exactly.
TV, cut it out for 30 days. Whatever it is, insert the thing you know you're doing too much, you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And so for me though, like, I don't know, I just think that's restraint in general with habits. I think a lot of people throw like, oh, I'm fasting. And I'm like, not really. You're just removing like something you know you shouldn't do
like disciplining
anyways.
yourself
Like
or-
fasting to me is like drawing close to God.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, God, I'm gonna starve my flesh so I can hear from you.
And they always say too, and oh man, I gotta work on this because I'm one of these guys that I'll tell people right away, but they say like, it wasn't in the Bible that didn't talk about when they fasted. You know, they talk about the Bible, it's like don't mention anyone.
Yeah. I remember the scripture's been brought
But
up.
like I don't remember that. I always remember it after I go to somebody and be like, dude, I'm on day 2, and it's like you want people to feel your
And I've been there too. I'm like, bro,
Bro,
3 days,
check
no,
this out.
no food. But I'm hearing from the Lord.